Ladies, gentlemen, non-binary and gender-fluid individuals, cyborgs, androids, interdimensional eldritch horrors, and magically animated broomsticks enslaved by anthropomorphic mice. Welcome to the Crushing Deep. This has been a very challenging week in the development of the game for two reasons. You may remember I told you that I was remastering my intro animation with improved lighting, animation, and lens effects to increase realism. I was rendering it out with each frame as an individual JPEG file rather than an MP4 or other video format. This is a good habit to get into when you have an animation that's going to take a long time to render and or eat up a lot of your computer's resources, because it's easy to convert a sequence of images into an animation after they are rendered, and if something goes wrong along the way, you can pick up the render from where you left off. If your renderer crashes before the job is complete whilst rendering directly to video, the video isn't saved and you have to start again from scratch. Despite this, there are of course circumstances in which things can go spectacularly wrong, as I learned the hard way this week. So, my computer was a decent workhorse when it was brand new, but was never top of the range, and being a few years old now, the rigours of Unreal 5, Cinema 4D and DaVinci Resolve for video editing are too much for it to handle all at once. So I've been halting the animation render every time I wanted to actively work on the game in Unreal, and then when I was done, restarting it in Cinema 4D while I went away to eat, drink, sleep, work, etc. A couple of days ago, I stopped the render to work on the game, as I had done dozens of times before. I went to my render settings and changed the frame range in Cinema 4D so that when I came back, I could pick up from where I left off. I went to save my project and was met with an error message, unable to write file. This was a little off-putting, but I thought to myself, oh well, never mind, I'll worry about that later. I'll just check the next time what frame I got to and change the render settings then. I haven't made any changes to the scene other than that, so I didn't think it would be a big deal to not save and move on. To my horror, that error meant not only that the changes weren't saved, but the existing save file it was trying to write to was deleted, meaning the entire scene was gone. My choices now are making do with the animation I already have, or start the whole thing again from scratch. Obviously starting again would mean taking precious time away from working on the game itself, but the flaws in the animation I already have are becoming more and more obvious each time I watch it. As such, I will be recreating it, but it will be on the back burner and not a priority. The second issue, and possibly a far more serious one, is that this was the first in a series of crashes, glitches and freezes when performing often simple tasks that makes me concerned for the long-term functionality of my computer. That's not to say I haven't made any progress. The rebuilding of Quartermaster's detective office is slow but steady, as you can see. The office feels much more lived in now, although I do need to fill in all the walls, make the ceiling look like plaster rather than concrete, maybe throw down a tatty old rug, make the map on the globe the right way round, hide all the text and pictures that refer to dates in the 70s, 80s and 90s, replace the phone with a period accurate one, remove the references to Detective Somerset, who I believe is Morgan Freeman's character in Seven, and also replace the signs with copyrighted material on them. I also started working on a film projector prop that I will need in the start menu and later in the game too. I looked online and couldn't find any good ones within my budget, so instead used reference pictures to start building my own. As you can see here, I found one reference picture of a 3D model that showed not only the finished shape of the object but also the polygons that made it up, which helped with the modelling process. I'm going to keep an eye on my computer, but I may have to do a factory reset if it doesn't start behaving and format the C drive. All my assets and game files are backed up on an external hard drive, so if it comes to it, I won't have to start everything again from scratch. I won't be uploading for a while, as next weekend I'll be away at a family wedding overseas, so please bear with me and I'll update you on my progress in 2 weeks. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.